Oakland County administered its first COVID-19 vaccinations to first responders as the nation takes steps toward ending the pandemic. Although the Orion Lighted Parade was canceled for the first time in 25 years, the parade group organized a Santa drive-around instead. The pandemic threatened Orion Township's annual Breakfast with the Grinch event, but organizers were determined to give families a festive photo opportunity. And the Lake Orion Police Department did what they could to make sure several area families had a very Merry Christmas. Hello everyone, I'm Stacy Calloway. I'll have those stories and more on this edition of ONTV News. COVID-19 has had a devastating toll in Oakland County, with cases surpassing 50,000 and over 1,400 dead. But things are looking a bit more optimistic as the vaccine gets distributed across the nation. On Friday, December 18th, Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter hosted a press conference at the Waterford Township Regional Fire Department headquarters, where the first doses of the COVID-19 vaccine were administered to emergency medical service personnel. The vaccine arrived on Thursday, December 17th, and the first vaccination was given to Steve Cooper, Director of Public Safety for the City of Oak Park.
It must have been a luck of the draw. I got up early this morning. I was obviously excited about coming and getting the vaccination, and as I was talking to some colleagues and some others, that we've been in the COVID pandemic for so long now. I think it's very important that we try and get on the other side, the downside of it. I was happy to be first. I trust and I believe in the science. I think it's very important that many others get vaccinated so we can get back to a sense of normalcy that is more conducive.
100 doses of the vaccine were administered at the Waterford Township location, with similar events scheduled to take place throughout Oakland County.
This vaccine can't come soon enough. In fact, I'm very sad that it didn't come soon enough for people like Benny Napoleon and the many other people who have been affected by this vaccine. Yesterday marked a milestone in Oakland County, and not a happy one. We now have over 50,000 Oakland County residents who have contracted COVID-19. Sadly, more than 1,400 of those have passed away from this virus. And even though we're excited today that we're beginning the first phases of the vaccination rollout, we know that this is going to take time. We know we need more doses of the vaccine.
Medical Director Dr. Russell Faust reassures the public that this vaccine has been a work in progress long before COVID-19 impacted the world.
After having phases 1, 2, and 3 clinical trials, the Pfizer vaccine has gone through tens of thousands of volunteers and has been during that trial an extremely safe vaccine. It's and many people are concerned that it was, quote, rushed to market. In fact, we were very fortunate in that the mRNA aspect of this vaccine was actually in development over decades, and in fact had been under development for SARS and MERS and Ebola viruses, and in fact they were able to develop upon those existing methods and simply use the mRNA for the spike protein of SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19. So that moved them ahead by many years, and were able to bring it to us in less than a year. So that's wonderful. And the efficacy is 95%. That is, comparing those treated in the clinical trial to those that got a placebo. And that was a completely blinded, it's called blinded trial. That is, the vaccinators and the recipients had no idea. They volunteered for the trial, no idea whether they were receiving the vaccine or receiving the placebo. And it had a 95% efficacy in reducing the treated group in contracting the virus. That's incredible and a fantastic success.
Phase 1A of Oakland County's vaccination plan includes those serving in healthcare settings who could potentially be exposed to COVID-19. Phase 1B includes workers in essential and critical industries. Phase 1C includes those considered high risk due to underlying medical conditions or are 65 years of age or older. Phase 2 includes all individuals 16 years of age or older and will most likely be rolled out in the spring. For the first time in 25 years, the nighttime Orion Lighted Christmas Parade was canceled due to the pandemic. Since residents couldn't come to the parade, organizers decided to bring a version of the parade to residents. On the afternoon of Saturday, December 19th, costume characters began to assemble near the intersection of Flint and Broadway Street in the Village for a very special event. Following the cancellation of the Orion Lighted Parade, the Orion Area Parade Group explored other options, such as a stationary parade on Broadway Street, but ultimately decided on a Santa drive-around. Disney characters and other costume characters climbed aboard 4 pickup trucks at Ed's Broadway Gift and Costume and proceeded to cruise through the streets of the Village. DJ James provided the Christmas music. Of course, bringing up the rear were Santa and Mrs. Claus, and a bright red pickup truck provided by Gall and Buick GMC, spreading Christmas cheer along the way.
Our Christmas parade got canceled twice because of the different restrictions. So our Lake Orion Area Parade Group came together with a fabulous idea of having a Santa drive-around. This is the best the Orion Parade Group could come up with under the circumstances. I hope everybody has a blast today. We're having fun, and Merry Christmas.
The Christmas cruise moved throughout the Village from 1 to 3:30 on Saturday. Then the group gathered again on Sunday at 1 p.m. to cruise through neighborhoods in Orion Township. The event proved that nothing can stop Santa Claus from making his rounds in Lake Orion.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, and we hope everybody's got their Christmas list done because we're getting ready for the big day. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Describe what's happening here today.
I call it the Santa Tour.
Yep.
So we are touring around the village, looking for all the little ones so we can wish them a Merry Christmas.
Each year, the Lake Orion Police Department brightens the holiday season for dozens of children by inviting them to shop with a hero. Although the pandemic severely impacted the program in many ways, the police department still managed to bring happiness to many children. On the evening of Monday, December 21st, Lake Orion police officers arrived at Blanche Sims Elementary School for a special COVID-modified version of their annual Shop with a Hero program. Normally, more than 100 children would be given a gift card and invited to shop for Christmas gifts with first responders or members of the military. But with pandemic still raging and restrictions in place, the police department was forced to reduce the number of children taking part in the program to 34 Blanche Sims Elementary School students, and much like Santa Claus, deliver the toys to local homes. Since Blanche Sims is a school of choice, some families who live outside of the village were invited to come to the school to pick up the gifts.
There was definitely some big changes that had to be made with large gatherings being canceled in stores. Our typical Shop with a Hero event would be held in a major store, and bringing upwards of 125 kids into the store. This year, huge changes had to be made, no gatherings, so we had to take the Internet of Things approach and do everything online. Forms were sent out to the parents with a gift request in those. We got those returned. We had shoppers go online and do our online shopping for us, and then we were able to go and check out with that cart, have all of the presents delivered to one location. 4 former Lake Orion High School students just graduated this year, stopped by and wrapped over 125 presents in a 6-hour span. Got them all bagged up, labeled, and ready to go.
Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, fundraising was greatly reduced in 2020, which affected the number of children who benefited from the program. But thanks to the police department and several Lake Orion High School students, many families had a Merry Christmas despite these difficult times.
There was a couple events that typically help us out with our fundraising. We weren't able to have those events this year, so it did have an effect.
Now I see some young people here today. Who are they and how are they helping out?
Well, I'd like to give a huge shout out to Becca Hamilton, Bree Cassidy, Sean and Ryan Hammond. They were our professional rappers this year. Becca Hamilton did a great job at doing all the online shopping and making sure every kid had what was on their wish list.
Oh gosh, thank you. This means so much. So much, you guys. Thank you. Truly, he will have a Christmas now. Thank you so much.
Normally at this time of year, the Orion Center would be filled with the sights and sounds of holiday music and seniors enjoying a festive luncheon in the banquet rooms. The pandemic prevented that from happening, but the Orion Center staff adapted. On Wednesday, December 9th, Orion Area seniors were invited to roll up to the Orion Center to take part in the Holly Holiday Lunch. Participants signed up in advance either online or in person and had meals provided by the OPC delivered to their car upon arrival. 50 meals were handed out in addition to the 30 meals distributed through the Meals on Wheels program.
So they are getting a warm beef brisket, mashed potatoes, green beans, coleslaw, bread, dessert, and just a little holiday treat as well. Today we thankfully got the OPC involved Meals on Wheels program that they provided the lunch, and then Lourdes Assisted Living was our sponsor for the event. So Lourdes of Waterford was able to also sponsor the part of the food and the treat that they got as well.
Normally, the Orion Center would host an annual luncheon in the banquet rooms, complete with entertainment, but the COVID-19 pandemic prevented that from happening.
It's changed really everything. I mean, this used to be an hour event. They got to come in, sit down, they would have entertainment, we would serve them their lunch, and it was a really nice experience for them. They got to socialize with all their friends. So just a little different this year. I do think they still enjoy it. They're still loving that we're offering it. They just now have to be at home and eat it instead of being here at the Orion Center. So
the Orion Center handed out meals to seniors on Veterans Day and again on the week before Thanksgiving. They plan on continuing to offer grab-and-go lunches into 2021 as long as the pandemic makes it necessary. Since 2016, Orion Township has hosted an event that invited families to have breakfast with the Grinch at the Orion Center. But again, due to the pandemic, organizers were forced to make some major changes or cancel the event. On Saturday, December 12th, Orion Township invited families to come out to Friendship Park for pictures with the Grinch. More than 100 kids braved the rainy weather to get a photo op with the Grinch, as well as a gift bag containing arts and crafts projects and reindeer food.
Normally we do breakfast and have it at the Orion Center, and it's an hour-long event, but this year we are just doing pictures with the Grinch, and we're outside. So it's a little rainy and a little cold today, but kids are happy, so it's all worth it.
Seemed like Orion Township was just desperate to make this happen this year, right?
Yes, we were. We have planned and replanned and made sure we were following all protocols and being as safe as we could to make this happen, because the kids need it. You know, the kids need something Christmassy this year to brighten their spirits.
Each family was given a time slot and notified staff when they arrived at Friendship Park. Staff then sent a text letting them know it was safe to approach the pavilion. Despite the steady downpour, families seemed grateful to have an opportunity for a fun holiday photo.
Instead of having the traditional Santa event, we switched to the Grinch a couple years ago because nobody around here does the Grinch. Everybody does Santa. You know, everybody does breakfast with Santa or whatever, but nobody does the Grinch. So we're a little different. It's a niche, market, but kids love it, and it grows every year, especially with all the new movies coming out about the Grinch. It's definitely becoming more and more popular, more and more mainstream, and the kids really seem to enjoy it.
For more information about upcoming events and programs, visit orionparks.com. In an effort to encourage residents to remain active throughout the holiday season and winter, Orion Township has come up with a list of fun activities you can take part in throughout the end of February. Recently, one of those activities took place at the Orion Center, and ONTV's Joe Johnson was there for all the fun.
All right, everyone. Thank you for registering, and welcome to Car Bingo.
On Tuesday, December 29th, the parking lot at the Orion Center was filled with cars for Orion Township's first ever Car Bingo. The event was part of Orion Snowcation, which encourages residents to take part in fun winter events over the course of 12 weeks.
So everyone got 12 sheets of paper, 2 cards on each sheet, so 24 bingo games total. And they just pulled up, we gave them their cards and then a marker, and then they're tuning into the radio station and they're getting to play bingo.
Calling out the numbers were newly elected trustee Kim Urbanowski and Dina Senefani of Fox 2 News. Participants tuned in on their car radios and honked their horns when they got bingo. Prizes included value meals from Culver's and a $100 gift certificate as the grand prize.
I-22. I-22.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, just last week we only had about 40 or so registered. I come in today and we're at over 100, so it's been a really cool event to see grow. It had a lot of views on social media, just a lot of people wanting to get out of their house after the holidays and get to enjoy this beautiful weather outside in their car, of course, but it's just something to do outside of the house. So really fun event to be a part of.
If you'd like to take part in upcoming Orion Snowcation events, you can call 248-391-0304, extension 3500, or visit orionparks.com. At the Orion Center, this is Joe Johnson reporting for ONTV News.
Thanks, Joe. And with that, we'll wrap up this edition of ONTV News, our final newscast of 2020. Be sure to look for ONTV News, the year in review, as we look back at the news and events that made 2020 a year we will never forget. Thanks for watching. Happy New Year.